favorite mentor was my third grade blue-haired teacher, Mrs. Schlagenhoff. She had such care and love to help me go forward in whatever I did that it really helped me to enjoy education and enjoy learning. Mrs. Schlagenhoff.
Russ Berwin with Ryan Lawn and Tree. I'd have to say many, Pastor Tone been my favorite mentor.
Hi, I'm Kelly from Mission, British Columbia, Canada, down here visiting, and my favorite mentor would be one of our Toastmasters actually in my club, Joe Priestley. She's a potter, resident potter, and a very good speaker.
Claire Barker, I work for C.H. Robinson. My favorite mentor would be my 5th grade teacher, Miss Elliott. She was very kind and a really good listener and really tried to connect with students, so she was my mentor.
I'm Bill Capps with OptumRx, and I'm also in the Army Reserve. My best mentor ever was First Sergeant Rodney Baldwin. He taught me how to complete my duties, become a great soldier, and still celebrate life while I'm at it.
Good morning, Lorella Booth, Center for Practical Bioethics. She'll be shocked that I said this, and I haven't seen her in years. Teacher in my junior year of high school in Herman, Missouri. Her name was Linda Vernon. And she encouraged me and gave me opportunities to get into speaking and drama kind of situations. And I've had trauma, I guess, ever since. But Linda Vernon was the one who really got me started.
My name is Peter Frankel. I'm with Foundation Commercial Mortgage. Throughout every phase of my life, I've had a different mentor that meant something special to me. But just recently, I finished reading the book Unforgiven. It's a story about Lou Zamperini, who was a World War II pilot who got shot down over in Japan and was a POW for years and years and years and was brutally beaten throughout his years as a POW, but always looked at the positive side of whatever the situation was. So today, he's my mentor.
Mark Bartlow. It depends on the day, depends on the situation. There's always a lot of good mentors. Probably one lately, just with my passion on trees, has been my grandfather. When it took him about 2 weeks to pass away, he had a stroke, and when we were sitting there in the hospital talking, Grandpa, why was it at 89 you were still planting trees? And he told me, you know what? How many of those trees did you and I plant together that you remember? Well, an awful lot of them. And he was the one that taught me we're never too old to plant a tree. It's the legacy that they create.
Good morning, Mark Mage, Ryan Lawn and Tree. It had to be old Shep. Old Shep was always trying to get me to come back into the flock. And he said I had a tendency to go out here and wander around and get lost, so he was instrumental in showing me those.
Michael Langford, H&R Block. I would say I don't have one favorite mentor. Instead, I just enjoy learning from everyone.
Good morning, my name is John Rupp, and even though my favorite mentor would be my 100-year-old aunt who just passed away a couple of weeks ago, the first person that came to mind was a Toastmaster by the name of Curtis Wilson. And Curtis did raise the bar very high, which I'm still striving to leap over. He had a deep, booming voice. Some of you may have met him, and he was a great mentor.
Mike Pataglioli, Cerner. I'd say John Basil was my mentor, and he was a CPA, a partner at a CPA firm in New York. And let's just say when I graduated college, those 4 years, I hadn't studied really hard, so I didn't know that much. And I sort of went out to New York City, and he really took me under his wing and did a great job for me. And he's probably my biggest mentor.
Good morning, my name is Randy Pennington, Freightliner Trucks, a division of Daimler, Mercedes-Benz. As you mentioned, you go through life, you have many mentors. My father was a big mentor as far as my life and keeping you on the straight and narrow path. But my current mentor is my boss, which I guess is probably a good thing, to make sure I let him know, make sure we send him this message. Because he kind of got me into that, because he presents well, gets up in front of thousands of people, and he walks into a room, he lightens it up. So looking forward to growing with the group here. So thanks.
Mitch Roush, I'm an engineer with Garmin, and I look back, kind of my juncture, which I talked about in my icebreaker speech, was really picking what career I wanted to be in. And Dr. Don Malzahn, who is a professor at Wichita State, was a key person in helping me select engineering and helping me along the way in both my undergraduate and as well as when I went on into graduate school in engineering. And is also a mentor for me is because he had polio very bad, so he was highly disabled. But just the amount of things that he was able to do and still teach and be an on-board director of a company and be involved in a lot of things, that was very touching for me in life.
My name is Maureen Foster, and I work at Sprint. I'd say my mentor was one of my former bosses named Kenny. And I think the reason I chose him is when I reported to him, I was going through a very difficult transition in my career, not only personally, but as well as the team that I was part of. And what he was able to do is always help keep me focused. What is the goal? What are you doing? You're doing well, and to think about things outside of the immediate. And when you're in transition, you're kind of only thinking about here, and to help think of the big picture, and that was very helpful.
Jessie Sumner, KHC Wealth Management. Joyce Cantrell comes to mind when we think about mentors. For me, she was a professor of mine in financial planning at K-State, and she's actually the reason I got into financial planning. I was a very lost freshman at K-State trying to pick a new major, and went and talked to her, and she was the spokesperson for the financial planning department, so she was there to sell everybody on it, but it happened to be a good fit for me, and she was very encouraging to me all along being in college. And she retired when I graduated, and I'm always sad for the underclassmen that came after me that they didn't get to be under her tutelage, so thank you.
David Antelik. I've been blessed to have many mentors along the way, but the first one that came to mind was fifth grade teacher, Mr. Spivey. He was really the first one that kind of pulled me out of my comfort zone. I kind of just been cruising along, enjoying it, but he pulled me out of there along the way. I've had mentors just continue to keep pulling me out of my comfort zone, which is good. It helps you grow.
Marty Fonke, entrepreneur speaker. Most people in the room, I had a lot of mentors, but there's two that come to mind. One is Zig Ziglar. Had the opportunity to meet him many, many times. It's been on my bucket list to speak on the stage with him. I don't know that that's going to happen, but there's still a chance. But his book, See You at the Top, really straightened me out from being a pretty lost teenager to realizing that there was more in life. And then another mentor named Opal Singleton really gave me my career mentorship, and I was had a mullet, torn jeans, and sneakers when I started in business, and she cleaned me up and set me on path to professionalism. So those are my two.
Resurrect the mullet.
Say, what kind of mullet did you
I was rocking it.
Party in the front, business in the front, party in the back.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you're from Missouri. That's right.
At 12 years old, I embarked on a 10-year career at a place called the Berry Patch. And if anybody knows, it's a blueberry farm south of town in Cleveland, Missouri. They had, back in the 90s, late 80s and 90s, they had 16 acres of blueberries that I helped take care of. The owner was a gentleman by the name of Tom Willis and his wife Penny Willis. They were extremely instrumental in me growing up. Taught me the value of a good work ethic. They are probably responsible for my conservative background and conservative views, and I would not be the man I am today without them.
I'm Chad Austin. Best mentor I've ever had, and is still my mentor now, is my dad. My dad's name's Steve Austin. And so, I know he's kind of got a lot of power, because every time I tell people that, they're like, "The Steve Austin?" I normally have a couple different groups. I know I'm getting older now, because it used to just be the $6 Million Man or Stone Cold Steve Austin, and there's a whole new group that's who's that. And so, but he's always been my mentor.
My name is Anab Abdullahi with an options for ICTC, Allstate Insurance Company. My mentor in life was my mother, the one person who encouraged me to pursue whatever I dreamed of. She always said, be true to yourself, live life. So that was where my foundation was set. But also when I came, and I have a lot of mentors along my high school years and elementary years and all that good stuff. But when I came to the States, at Northwest Missouri State University, Dr. Sharon Browning was my advisor. And she is really who got me focused. I was just all over the place. I want to be in the economics department, I want to be in finance, I want to be in marketing. And she was the one who said, you love to talk. You need to be in a people business. So she had me an intern in a bank, and had me intern in my graduate school in an insurance company. And when I came to the insurance company, to sales department, I came to life. That's where I'm at, and she was my great mentor. Thank you.
Well, I am Karen Riley, Coldwell Banker, Advantage Realtors. My favorite mentor was my very first real estate broker, and his name was Jerry Holloway. And he said, that all you need to know in real estate is see